Hi, everybody. I am Alyx Gold, and I am chatting with Staxx.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Alyx Gold.
Just take the Tupperware container and go. You're already robbing. You're already robbing somebody. Like
they would you if they caught you.
Yeah, if they catch you, it's over with for you, or at least beat you to the point of death if they're not going to kill you. You know, and so I crawl, and I didn't take the Tupperware container or the money or anything else. I open the Tupperware container. Pardon my language. And I open it up and I reach my hand in it like it's a damn ice cream scoop. And I scoop out the biggest handful I could take and I close the Tupperware container. I push it in a little bit back into where it was. And I, one hand and two legs, crawl with my hand holding the door back out to the front door. And as soon as I get on the porch, I slowly shut this and I just book it running down the road with this dope in my hand. I'm holding my shirt over my hand like this, like, don't drop the excess. And I run and I went to like this girl's house that lived in Section 8 housing. I'm like banging on the door, like, let me in. I'm like, I got some. I went in and we got, I just pretended like it never even happened. I never saw that man again. I never saw, luckily, I mean, I don't, who knows what could have happened or if I'd have crossed paths. There was so many bad things that happened to me out there, though, that sometimes I wonder, like there's like on Kevin's thing, when like I've shared a story that was pretty ruthless about like being in the streets and walking at night, and like something that really major and traumatic that happened to me where I probably shouldn't be alive. And I was, dragged in an alley and all of these things. You can imagine the rest. But like, I think about nights like that different things happened over the course of the next few years. And I'm like, I've always wondered, like, if those things were not just karma, like, but like if they were some of these people that I like did wrong and thought that I just skated by with it, and they like set somebody out to like set me up, like, you know what I mean? Because I was always in that area. I was always, that was my stomping ground. So I've always wondered, I'll never know. And it doesn't matter either way, but I just always wondered, like, I wonder if that was like because of this.
Yeah, I remember hearing that story that you told.
Yeah.
The guy dragged you in the backyard and he's beating you.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah. He me like brutally me in the back of that alley. And I don't think I mentioned this on there, but like just that, for example, a week prior to that, I had set somebody else up to be robbed. This was the worst of my addiction. I had set somebody else up to be robbed a week before that. It wasn't, I thought I was always still being a good person, right? Like, I don't care how crazy this sounds. Like I have a genuine heart, and I did then, but I was surviving. And so I tried to be the best I could in the wrong I was doing. And so like when I set that person a week before that up to be robbed, I went to this random dude's house that sold crack at the time. And I was like, I knew they robbed people all the time. Like I wasn't always around doing that, but I knew that they did. And I was desperate for a fix. And I was like, look, I have a lick for y'all. This boy had given me like really, really cut recently. And I had spent all my money with him for several months at least. And he had given me really cut. And I was like, that justified in my brain, like robbing him. And I'm like, okay. So I told them, I said, I have a lick. He'll bring me a bag wherever I'm at. If I call him and tell him I got like, $40, he'll bring me that. And then you guys come out and you'll like scare him, and take because he drives around the city with his bag on him. So at least have a couple grams or whatever, and you can take his money. You can keep his money. I'm like, I said, but you don't hurt him. Like they ended up, I'm not going to tell that whole entire story, but I did call him for a 40. He did come with it. They did come out. They told me their guns weren't loaded. They were loaded, and they shot him in the arm. He tried to drive away. He didn't want to give them the money and they shot at the car and they got him in the arm. As soon as I heard the I just ran and ran and ran. Never heard anything else about it. I did hear from another acquaintance using that, like, he was okay. He had gone to the hospital. He had his arm, he was shot in the arm, but he was fine and this and that. And a week later is when that stuff happened to me when I was, walking in the middle of the night, and it was a stranger. So it was a stranger to me, but I've always just thought to myself, like, who knows? That could have been somebody that he sent. That could have been, like, you just never know with the way that I lived my life.
I mean, what if they killed that guy? You'd be in prison for the rest of your life.
My life. Well, there's many times that I, there's a lot of things. I thank God every day that he intervened in ways that that saved my life and probably a lot of other people's, because I mean, there's 1,000,001 times. There's times I shared my with people that could have killed people. You know what I mean? There's times I did. But it was an underground life that, like, all it was survive and block out the feelings of it. That's it. Everyone's out for themselves. And, that honestly, that's probably that is the worst thing. That is the one that sat on my conscience the worst. That's the worst thing that I did, where it was like, because I had never set anybody up to, that's the only time I ever set someone up to be robbed. And that happened. So it, like, messed me up in my head. The worst was, like, waiting to find out if he was okay. I was fucked up.
Because he knew it was you that did it too.
Yeah.
And back then you hurt people, right? You hurt people here and there, but now you change your life. How did that transformation even happen? Like, how did it start to happen?
There was, like, little things all along the way. I think when we talk about, like, I'm sure just like we talk about, like, moments of clarity and, like, little things where we kind of have to reflect on our life when we're in the worst of it, and we're just like, wow, like, this is what my life looks like. And those several things that we've kind of talked about already, some of those were moments that I had to do that. I had to just sit back and look at my life, whether it was briefly or not, and be like, this is my life. This is all it is. And this is terrible. So those kind of stand out a lot. And after so long, I was so broken and empty. And I had so many, now mind you, like, before I did that, like, set that guy up to be, I had people ruthlessly, like, beat me, rob houses I had been in. I had so many dark things happen that, like, it was like a dog eat dog world. It was just like, it did change me, but I still, the ounce of, I try to look back and I'm like, well, the ounce of me that was like I told these men, now I'm like, do not load your guns. Like, just scare him. I mean, like, I did care in a sick way. It wasn't like, it was still wrong. It was still terrible to do to him. I'm taking his money, but, like, I didn't want him hurt. You know what I mean? And there's just little things like that where it's like, you start to realize you have no control over the outcomes of these things. When you're in this space with these people and you're doing these things, like, all bets are off. You don't get to determine what outcomes are. And I could have died, and many other people could have died many different times. But the last time I went to jail in 2018 was when my life changed. And nothing spectacular happened then, to at least that I would think was spectacular at the time. I was so tired. I was so tired, and I had burnt all of the bridges of the people that actually love me. And I had burnt tons of bridges in the streets, and I had exhausted all resources. And then I wasn't going to, like, sell my body anymore because all of that had happened, and I was really traumatized from that. So I was just, like, out of options, and I just so happened to have these warrants and get arrested. And that time in jail was when something happened. They ended up giving me court, and I wanted to get out and get when court was done. I just was like, I'm not going to run from the law. I've been doing it for 10 years. I'm like, I don't want to look over my shoulder at warrants every 2 seconds. And I also have nowhere to go. I've ran up and down these streets, same thing in Akron. I'm like, so I'm just, in my eyes, it was just like, we'll just sit still for a second and I'll do what I need to do until I'm off court. But in court, they make you go to, like, a meeting or two a week, and they make you, like, do counseling and do all these things. And I went to more than one meeting a week, mostly because I couldn't put any substances in my body. And so I had to look at myself, and I'm, like, very insecure. And the only validation I could get was, like, from men. So I was going to, like, 5 and 6 meetings because I'm like, it's the only place I'd see men. I'm like, well, at least then I can get some validation. They'll, like, think I'm cute or whatever, which I don't know why I thought I was hot at times. I'm like, girl, you can't even tell which way you're walking if you're facing sideways because you're flat everywhere. You got no weight on you. You got no, it was just very bad. Malnourished. They let me out on court. The judge told me, like, go ahead. Here's enough rope for yourself. Again, I had cut ankle monitors off through the court. I had done a million things, ran from treatment centers, ran on probation.
You were getting pulled over one time. Tell that story.
Yeah, one time I was pulled over and I shot up right in front of the cop. I had warrants and I saw lights.
Right in front of the cop.
Yeah. I locked my door and window lock. And I was like, he's like, you have 3 seconds open. I'm like, hold on. I was doing my shot and I'm like, I know I'm going to jail. So I'm going to do it one way or another. And he, right before he was about to break the window, I was like, okay, I'm done. I get out and I went to jail that time. But I mean, there was so many times. I mean, it was just, it didn't matter and nothing mattered. Nothing mattered. I lived like this not real life, right? Like it didn't feel, I could never go in a grocery store and feel like I belonged. I could go into a trap house where there's literally people looking for crumbs on the ground and feel like I belonged. Like that's
I'm home. Right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's so sad. It's so sad.
I couldn't imagine my life like that now. Can you imagine your life like that now?
No, not at all. I know it was. But now, and especially as a mother, like no. And but the court, like, I wish that was the most like thorough part of my story that I could tell all these magical moments of, but really it wasn't. It was like, I was so empty and so broken. And I just, that's why, like, I share with clients or with people or anybody that I like mentor, just people today that are in early recovery. It's like, or that are trying to be, I always thought there had to be this, because I wanted to be clean a million times. I feel like most of us usually do. We just can't get it. We don't think we're capable, whatever, where we try a million times and it's the same result. But like the difference was, and this is just by default, by happenstance, I was tired enough that like, I was just going to do what they said. So I took all these actions, anything that was asked of me, go to meetings. I'm going to go to 100 of them, get a therapist and then get a trauma therapist. I'm going to get 3 trauma therapists. I did everything because I'm like, I'm just going to do it because I'm too tired to have to argue with them when they tell me, hey, you're not doing enough, right? I don't even want to get in trouble. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to do it. I'm just going to ride this out and then I'll go back to what I know afterwards if that's what it is. But in doing all these things, it's very simple. Like I started, and I always say it like this, but I started to change without my permission because that's what it felt like. It was like I didn't even intend to change or grow. I just started to without even recognizing what was happening because I was doing the things. It's like blindly walking. It's like I was still blindly walking in this space, but I with no intention of changing, but the actions were bringing change. And the people I was surrounded by and the things I would just happen to see. And then all of a sudden now I'm looking at a woman who carries herself with respect and I'm like getting a glimpse of hope. And I'm like, what? Wow. Like, what must that feel like to feel that? Or, I'm having people in recovery that are like, want to be kind to me for no reason. Don't want anything from me. Like didn't harm me. And it was like that for the longest time. You didn't even come around me unless you were A, going to harm me, or B, you needed something from me.
You want something.
Yeah. And so I started to see myself change. And then at a certain point, like 2 or 3 months out, still going to drug court and stuff, I thought, okay, like I've had a couple of these little moments where I'm like, I desperately wanted deep down always to fix my life. I just didn't think I was worth anything. The more I put on top of it, more dope I did, more deeper I dug into that life, I felt like I'm not worth anything anyway. So why would I even try? And then I had these little moments of hope and I'm like, okay, Alyx, this is the last, like, this is it. You already have to do this. You don't want to go to jail. So you might as well give it all you've got. Like, put your heart into it. And I made a commitment to myself that if after 1 year, if I got 1 year clean on court or not, because it was supposed to be 2 years long, I got off early. But I'm like, if I get 1 year clean and I'm still miserable and I haven't grown enough that like I feel like I can do this, then I'll go get it. It's always going to be there for me. And that was my goal.
I said too. I said I'll go back. If my life's not better, I'll just go back.
That's it.
It really has been remarkable. My life
has
been great.
Well, and and it's like, because we don't, and that's not clinical. I have a social work degree today. I've been a clinician. I've been a case, all these different things, life coaching. And my biggest piece of advice is not clinical. I always say it's like, lie to yourself. I tell clients, lie to yourself. If you don't think you can, I don't care what brings you into the healing space of doing these things. I don't care if you have to act like you like it and you don't, and you think it, just let your feet walk it. Because then without you even knowing, things will change that you won't even recognize. And it's like, then you're actually in a space. That's why it's like people are like, you're in the meetings for the wrong reasons. Like if you're in meetings and stuff, it's like, I don't give a shit what brought you there. As long as you're there, be in the space where some healing can happen. Be in different places where you're going to meet people that actually value your life and want to encourage you to change. And I started to see so much of that. So when I made that decision in my head, and in my heart, I was like, okay, I'm going to just give it my all. So then I went to go look for a job in treatment. It was at the time my only job. I was working at a tanning salon / laundromat for $8.50 an hour, I think. And I was taking the bus, our like local bus system, Coda bus here. I was taking that to work every day. Finally got saved enough up for a car or whatever. I get this job in treatment making like $12 an hour. And I was like, that was my first, I was at whatever, 25, 24, almost 25. I'd never had a job. I'd never had, anything. I mean, anything. And, so I get that job in treatment, and from then on, I just continue to grow in that same pace. And then 9 months clean comes along, and I am going to my monthly, at that point, drug court meeting, and my PO said to me, hey, I got to tell you something. I was like, what's up? Now I'm expecting to be on court for 2 years. And he's like, you're getting off paper today. I was like, what? He's like, you're getting off paper today. And I'd been working in the treatment center for, I don't know, 6 months, maybe now 5 months, 4, I don't know, somewhere around there, 4 to 6 months, somewhere in between. And I was like, and I cried in his office. I was like, I'm terrified. He's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm going to get, I think, like, I've never done this. And he's like, Alyx, you know why you're not? He's like, because I'll cry right now, but he's like, you're going to do the same thing that you've been doing this whole time. He's like, nobody made you go work in treatment. Nobody made you go to all these meetings. Nobody made you do all of these things that you've done. This is you. He's like, we told you go to a meeting a week and come take tests for us. He's like, you've done that and worlds beyond. You can do this. And I did that. I did the next thing the next day. I did the very same thing I would do on the day before, and I kept showing up and doing that. And I made it, it sort of became my, I have an addictive personality still. Don't get me wrong.
Me too.
But it became an addiction to, and I think you can relate to this, and like reaching people and like just trying to like educate and like get stories out there and just, all of those things. I became driven and addicted to like growth and like encouraging other people and the good, because it is still very black and white in my brain. I can't half-ass anything. So if I'm going to do it, I need to do it all the way. And that's what I did. And over the course of the next several years, I got better jobs. I got better opportunities in that regard. I went to college. I got my social work degree. I got my first apartment at that time. Now I own a home today, but I met my first real like boyfriend that was like actually a relationship, and my kid's dad. We're not together today, but I want him to have the best life he possibly can. But
and your son never has to see you like that. He never has to see you like that. Never has to see me intoxicated at all. And yeah, that is the gift. That is the most beautiful thing of all of it. I feel like, I lost my brother. I think I mentioned that to you. I lost my little brother, Zach. Love you, Zach. A little over 5 years ago. I was about 2.5 years clean or around there. And that, if you'd asked me 10 years ago, I'd have said that would take me out. I mean, I had to call my parents. I had to call my parents and tell them they lost their only son. I had to call my sister, who is his twin. Actually, I had to show up at her door and tell her that Zach was gone. There's a lot of just really more pain than I would have relived addiction 100,000 times to keep that from happening if I could, and I still would. Like a lot of people, right? They talk about how good their life is and my life has changed. But how do you get through the bad parts of life and stay sober?
That's such a good question, Bill. It's like my favorite, because I feel like you're right. And I don't think about that a lot, but you're right. We are always highlighting either like the terrible times, or we're like in using, or the wonderful times in recovery and in not using, but we don't talk about that a lot.
Because I still think about it, right? But the difference is I just don't do it now.
Yeah, and the difference. So here's like, I think after so long. So I will say this: like Zach dying. God. Oh, I miss you. That changed my like fight against using to more of like a hatred for using, because it wasn't about me anymore. It was like my brother, that was my baby, like, and he's gone, and it took his life, and I watched my parents, like would it come to my life, it's one thing. I will risk my own. It was terrible. I wish I didn't put them through all the things I did, my family, but that was him, and like I didn't have any control, and he's gone, and he so young, 24 years old, and I began to hate it. So that was an extra shield. People were worried about me using. They should have been worried about me hunting down dealers, because I hated it at that point when that happened. I'm like, it just changed. So it became hard. Now when I have the hard times in life, like when we lost Staxx, I needed to feel that pain. I didn't know I was going to be that way, but like, for example, it was the most painful time in my whole life. A lot of people, like extended family, different things like that, would have been normal to like go use or drink or do something like that. Like I did not. I'm like, I need to sit in this pain. This is like, that is how I honor the love I had for my brother. And in all of that process, now I don't do the everything happens for a reason thing. I think that we are given opportunities through hard times to grow, for sure. But I don't think it's just written in a playbook exactly how it's supposed to happen from the beginning of time. It's just not my belief system, and I respect anyone's. But I think that we're given, like, God for me gives us ways to like grow through and heal through things when they do happen. But so when he passed, it was like I had to figure out a way to honor him and still go on with life in a way that like showed my love for him. And not only did that teach me how to navigate that, and I did in the best ways that I could. I distracted myself. I threw myself into school. I did all these things, but it also applies to every other part of life today, right? Like, it's like, I have faced many challenges. I faced challenges with my kid's dad. I pray every single day, like probably 100 times, and just I'm going to make lunch and I'm praying, because I want my son to have everything I ever didn't. And I want him to have all the love that, that a boy deserves, and that a child does. And his dad has a lot of trauma and a lot of things. It's not like similar to us, but it's a lot of pain, and he has a lot of growing to do. And so I worry. And there's tons of challenges with that. Single mom, like working full time, trying to make the bills, trying to do all these things. And then just my own, like what we go through as a human, like our own challenges that we go through. It's like, it taught me how to find, like, I ask myself, what am I going to learn from this? Like, what can I learn from this? And how can I come out of it as a person that's better for the world around me? Like a person that is better. Sometimes at the very worst, I just have to remind myself, like, or as a last resort, if I'm really going through it, because I got some mental health, I got some things. I have my moments, and it's like, I have to remind myself, like, you have been through hell. You've been through hell. So like, if you can't get through this emotion, and also like what they teach us early on in recovery, I don't care what route of recovery you use, you've at least once heard like, their feelings, not facts. Like in the therapy world, we always say their feelings, not facts. Like, it's feelings. If I got to go destroy my whole life over something I felt, like, I need to check myself, because the feeling is going to pass.
Yeah, so like, they change. Your feelings change.
And so the worst of moments, it's like, the biggest tool that I've gained in recovery is perspective. And the fact of knowing that that's a choice. How I choose to look at any situation or circumstance is a choice. I can wake up. I always use this example because it's easiest. But like, I can wake up and it's raining and it's gray, right? So like, me personally, I don't fucking like it. I don't like the rain. I know we need it for the grass and the trees and all the things. I don't like it. It makes me depressed. I don't like the freaking gray skies. I want the sun. My birthday's tomorrow. I'm a summer baby. Like, I just.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Mine was a couple of weeks ago.
Happy birthday.
May
See?
21st.
Yeah,
Gemini.
I love Gemini. Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
me too.
we're the best, honey. We're
Yeah.
the best out there. People always think two-faced. I'm like, no, we're just we're versatile. We can see any angle of anything.
Yeah.
So, but no, that's awesome, dude. But I hate the rain, and it's like the best example is I can get up, and if I decide if I roll out of my bed, which I'm not saying I always don't. Sometimes I do this, and then I'm depressed for the day. I roll out of bed, and I can be like, it's fucking raining. I go do these meetings. They might be ones I don't even want to do. And I'm not going to dress cute. I'm not going to get myself together. I'm not going to have the energy that I want to bring to my day because fuck this rain. And I can do that. And I know how I'll feel when I do.
Yeah, but you do it when you don't want to do it too.
Right. Yeah. You get up and do it. And that's the first half is that action. It's like getting up and do things. And that's like gratitude, like for your life. You get up and do it anyways. We know it as parents well with different things, but the real kicker, the real game changer, it's like the cheat code of life that I've learned when I'm able to hone in on it is I also, and this is where it comes straight back to lie to yourself. And I tell people, lie to yourself, because here's the thing. If I get up, I know I don't like the rain. I'm never going to like when it rains and it's gray. I get up and I say, I'm going to find something so fun to do in the rain today. I'm going to find something so fun to do in my day. This meeting is going to be, I'm going to sell this deal. I'm going to do this thing, whatever it is. And I will say it to myself. And my heart hasn't caught up with my mind in saying it yet, but I say it anyways. My thoughts follow. The way our brain works, like the chemistry of our mind and all of those things, our thoughts will naturally follow when we speak like that about our lives. They just will. It's literally like science. And so the more that, just like it's a habit, just like you learn a song, right? You listen to it every single day and you sing it every single day. By the end of that month, like you don't even know how you learned every single word, but you did. You don't even know how you did, but you learned it. And now it's second nature to you. It's the same thing in how we think. It's literally like a gold mine to know that we can think the way we want to if we practice it enough. And so I started doing that. Like 3-4 years into recovery, I just started deciding how I wanted to think. I might have seemed like a crazy person. I wrote things on my mirror. I wrote different thoughts on my mirror. I would read them every single day. I had notes and things I would read at certain times of day in my phone that uplifted me, because I started to realize me as a person, if I just let my thoughts go for what they naturally are, this is a shit mind most of the time. Like I need to rewire it. And so that's, and it doesn't become perfect. But it's far better than it ever was. I will be the person. I would bet my salary that most people that know me would say that Alyx is a glass half full person far before she's a glass half empty person, right? Like I'm going to find the positive in something. I'm going to be able to make it a good day. I have my moments, I have my times. And in the times I can't make it good thoughts or positive, in those very rare, very rough ones, I just think about the things I love the most, right? That I know I would lose if I put with me, that I know I would lose if I went and use. Like I didn't have that before, right? Like it's like I have a life today. I can't bear the thought of what my son would have to go through if I went back out. I cannot even bear the thought of my parents after going through everything with me for years, my losing my brother, their only son, and then me going back. I mean, it would take them out. It would take them out. Same thing with, it's just that's the bottom line at the end of the day. I think is like, on most days, like try to adopt a good perspective, try to have some gratitude and realize that you're powerful beyond measure. Like if you decide how you think, and then on the worst of days, just don't use, because you have things you love and you don't want to lose them. You know what I mean?
And my worst day sober is better than my best day on or alcohol.
Yes. Amen to that. Amen to that.
And you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes. Yes. And that is, I love that. Yes. I love that because you do, we don't grow we grow when we're uncomfortable. That's the only time. It's like, if we're comfortable, we ain't growing, And so it's, yeah, I think, but it becomes, I always like to encourage people to like stop looking at it as a chore, right? Like getting through the day sober, or getting through look at it as like a fucking adventure. Like I'm going to learn how to do different things it's terrifying. I'm not saying like it's easier said than done. I still remember, like, I'm not going in that grocery store. Like I wouldn't even go to the grocery store and go shopping, because I'm like, I thought the world was looking at me. I'm like tattooed head to toe. I'm like, I just all these things. And then but I started trying to look at it at some point, like as like I challenged myself, like, no, like figure this out and make it positive. Like, how can this be good? And so then that just began to grow. And now I will walk into a room of full grown men, most powerful people on this planet, and I will shake their hands, and my handshake will probably be firmer than theirs. And I'll do it proudly, because like I can go through the day and think and do hard things, right? Like I can do the things that scare me, and that's where I get my cheap thrill. I don't get it from drugs anymore. I get it from like, do things that you didn't think you were capable of doing. You know what I mean?
Before you didn't think you were worth it. And people like us are worth it. We're worth having a good life and feeling good about ourselves. And
yes. Yeah. We have some huge hearts. You know what I mean? We definitely have some huge hearts. And I do believe like God puts, like, we went through a lot of things. Not saying I'm not glad that all the things happened, but they happened. They are what they are. And so when it's like, God takes those things and makes purpose out of them. Like I spend my life every day. Like there's not a day I don't think of how I can help somebody. There's not a day that I don't think of that. And I love that about myself, and I think most of us are that way, where it's like, we're pretty selfless when it comes down to like when we grow, we're pretty selfless people,
But when you do get sober, you do have to be selfish. And
yes.
And you have to be like, I'm worth it, You have to be selfish with yourself.
Yeah,
in that aspect,
For sure. Yeah, I know. It's like yes, absolutely. Because it's like selfishness with our boundaries, with our like putting ourselves first and knowing we're worth it and all of that. I think the selflessness comes later, where it's like, it's by default. It's like, oh, I have become so worth it, even though I've had to convince myself, and it's been the hardest thing in the world. Now, like I am, and I happen to be a pretty like giving, genuine giving, like selfless person by nature when I am at my best. It's like it just kind of happens, and it's a pretty cool thing to experience.
You could help somebody else. Someone watching this video might take something from it.
I hope so. I mean, at the very least, like, just don't do the shit I did. At the very least, don't do that. And if they are struggling, I just hope that people, if anybody was anything like me, it's like you, and it sounds like you too. Like you truly don't think, some people don't think they'll ever make it out of that life. And like, I was definitely one of those people.
I never thought I would.
Yeah.
I was like, this is how I'm going to die. Like,
yeah. And like now, like, and there was wildly different plans for your life.
And I wanted it so bad. I wanted to get sober so bad, but I just thought I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we're so familiar with what we're doing. Like there's no way to even conceptualize what a life would be like sober.
And now I can't even think of my life like that anymore.
No.
Like, such a drastic difference.
I know. It's actually insane. It's insane to think about.
So what do you have in store for the future?
Who knows? Hopefully a lot of good things. Continuing to watch my son grow. He's like the love of my whole life. I'm literally obsessed with my kid. So funny. Boys are funny.
5's a good
so
age.
Funny. It's I just can't wait to just continue like living life with him. But
you're still young though. You're young.
Oh yeah, no.
Your birthday's tomorrow, right?
Yeah. And I'll be 33 tomorrow. So yeah.
47.
Yeah. I call that still young. I mean, I think we're as young as we feel,
Yeah.
And I'll just probably always get Botox and it's fine. So like, but either way, I'm opening me and a partner of mine, a good friend who's now my business partner. I work for an incredible facility called Hope Valley. They are a substance use and mental health treatment center. And I've worked in that this whole time. Right. And he happens to be the owner of a place that he used to be the administrative director at my very first job in treatment. I worked under him there. I went on to work at several other places. Now I work under him as an owner at this wonderful place. He also scholarshiped my brother twice for treatment before Zach passed away. Very dear to my heart, all of them. And then I, this last 6 months, have been in the process of building with my partner our own center, which is super exciting. It is a beautiful property that we got, that it's on 8 acres. It's got 2 buildings. It's got housing and clinical, and it's going to be a place that we named it after. So he lost his sister to addiction, as well as my brother Zach. So the housing is called Zachary in Cordella's place. And then the center itself is called Gold Center for Recovery.
That's cool. That's
it's
really cool.
It's really awesome. And so what's in store is just like getting able, it's such a privilege to work in something that you love doing so much anyways. Like that's all I want to do, is just make sure people, any opportunity I get, like let people know that they can live a better life and live a life sober, and then also like give back. And now we just get to take it to the next level and do it in a way that feels the most true to my heart. And I cannot wait for that. I just want to pour like love into people and do it in the most, it's like I can do that in all the spaces I'm already in. And I think I've done that, and I've done my best to continue to do it. And now we have like free creative range to like do it however we want. You know what I mean? From decorating the facility, from the programming, from the people that we bring in. I mean, just everything. And I can't wait to create that space with my partner. And like, I know he feels the same. He's just as passionate. And it's like, I don't know, like to have Liam grow up, right? Like, it's really cool to think about Liam growing up, seeing that. Like, instead you're seeing the center your mom and her good friend built to help people, instead of seeing your mom in the streets struggling. You know what I mean? Like, that is the coolest thing in the world.
He could be growing up without you, right?
Without me, yeah. And he would be. He would.
Yeah.
It's that's what's in store. Just doing that.
He doesn't ever have to see that ever.
No, thank God. No, he doesn't. And that's like that kid is. I'm just so blessed. Being a mom is like, I can't even tell you without like going into like full blown waterworks, because I'm so in love with that boy, and I'm just like so honored to be his mom. You know what I mean? Like, to have the privilege of being the person that, first of all, that teaches anybody anything. Like that, right? Like who put her in charge? But but it's the coolest thing in the world. And I get to like all these things I learned because of recovery. Like, I have patience with him. I'm not perfect. I mean, I'm not, but I have patience. I have understanding and empathy and love, and I know how to be assertive without being crazy. Like, all these different things that I learned only because of getting sober, and like only because of this side of life, I get to offer that. And that's just, being a mom is my favorite. He's wild too. Boy, I understand men so much more now because of a little tiny boy. I'm like, I get it, y'all. It starts it starts right out the womb from day one with you guys. My favorite little, he's like my little tiny broke best friend, and I just love him.
He's gonna be your broke best friend until he's like 18.
I know.
Mom. That's all you're gonna hear. Yeah. So, if there's a young woman out there watching right now, and she's struggling with addiction and she's looking for hope, what would you tell her?
I would tell her to breathe and give herself a chance for a moment, give herself some grace. Because if she's going through that, she probably doesn't feel like she's worth anything. And I would tell her to, there's nothing to lose from coming to find somebody to talk about it to. There's nothing to lose from just seeing if you can get some help, and that there's worlds of people at her disposal when she's ready to do that. That just because she might exist in a space that some of the world treats her like she's not anything, there's a whole different part of the world that thinks that she's everything. So, and that she can do it. Doesn't matter how low that you get. And that goes for anybody, young woman, young man, any person. Any person at all. I would just say, like, you are fucking worth it, like more than you even know. And, are probably like capable of more than your wildest dreams. And even if you just for a second decide to talk to somebody instead of, keeping it to yourself one time, like that's a step, just taking like one step in the direction of looking for help from somebody can make a difference. So.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. You are great. And I just look forward to seeing all the cool things you continue to do too.
Thank you. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before we go?
God and my son Liam. So someday he'll watch this and understand it. I love you so much. My parents, and my sister Devin, and my partner Sean, and all my good friends. Everybody that's been any part of my life up to this point, and anybody out there struggling with anything. You're loved, and I don't care if that's weird. I love you. So that's all I got.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
If you like this show, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like this show, too bad, start your own podcast.
That's right.